all food critics out there. Your two least favorite sous chefs are back here for Cinephellas. I am Chef Logan Myers. That's my beautiful good mate over there.
And I'm Chef Evan Moss-Bachrach. How's it going, all you chefs out there? Hey, cousin, what are we serving up tonight?
Yeah, we're serving up beef Wellington with 2 Miller Lights too.
That sounds real good, and you can only find that at one place. Yeah, that's right. These boys are back to review one of our favorite shows on TV today. Aaron, it's fourth season, highly anticipated. It's back. Everybody's been waiting for it since the last season. Of course, takes place in Chicago, and it stars Jeremy Allen White and Eben Moss-Bachrach and Ayo Edeberry. We're talking about FX's The Bear.
I can feel you chasing something, but you ain't got nothing to prove.
Sometimes your work family is closer to you than your family family.
How about this? Upon my signal, unleash hell.
There's one really true thing about restaurants.
System, baby.
You are never alone.
That's right. These two culinary experts are back tonight talking about one of our favorite Chicago shows. That's right, The Bear. A show we've both thoroughly enjoyed, really loved since the debut of this season. Always excited to come back each year and review the brand new season. Always drop on the Hulu. We always binge it in 2 days, 30-minute episodes. Falling into this world, this kind of, culinary expert, bigwig, hotshot, chef from works out in New York, comes back home to take over his family's place, restaurant, when his brother passes away, and really sets up all these seasons. Carmi Brazzado, played by the always wonderful and great Jeremy Allen White, also known as Lip Gallagher, returning in this role, playing this chef, and really talented, bit of a hothead at times, not really great at communicating. And he really, each season you kind of see the character evolve and kind of degress in some ways, especially last season. But this season really is everything's on the line. This has to do with the Bear, totally revamped, the sandwich shop into this more gourmet, top of the line, fine dining restaurant. Getting away from the early days of just making really good food, helping people out. This is like fine dining, and it's put a lot of stress on Carmi Brazzado and of course, the rest of the crew in this series. All the people right behind me. As you can see, Cousin Richie with a nice little glass right there. He's really changed throughout the seasons, and everything's on the line this season.
Right from the get-go, it's definitely on the line. Their uncle comes in and basically says, you have this much time in order to, make enough money. Otherwise, the Bear is going to close. So right away, you get that timer, and that counts down throughout this season. So you always have that in the back of your head. You know that they have a deadline. And meanwhile, all your characters are going through these, existential crises this season. Much of a slow burn this year. It felt a lot more slowed down than last season. Very focused on Carmi and the aftermath of what happened last season, and knowing that they're really up against it now. And, Carmi kind of thinking to himself, do I still have the same dreams as I did when I started this? Do I really want to do this with all my heart? And he's really, thinking about that throughout the span of the season, obviously dealing again with his family, with his mother. Again, Jamie Lee Curtis coming back, for multiple episodes, just fantastic in this role, a role she was born to play, just fits right. It's like one of her standout roles here. And then, of course, like you said, we have Cousin Richie and the other cast. Everybody gets their chance to shine. Everybody has a story and has an arc. And, this season really dove into the stories of the individual characters and was much more focused than last season.
Definitely. And going back to the clock, 1,400 hours. They have a few months to become profitable, or they're shutting down the restaurant. And of course, you're talking about Uncle Jimmy, played by Oliver Platt. I love him in this role. And Uncle Jimmy, Chicago uncle, we all know. We've seen this kind of person throughout the suburbs and the city, and he really plays it well. But it's like he, invested in the Bear, and they're just not doing well. So I have a few months, get their shit together, essentially, figure out how they can become profitable, and make some money. And of course, they have to go back to the drawing board. And you guys remember from last season, very ambitious idea to have a new menu each day of the week, which is a lot of prep, a lot of money into produce and everything to prepare these dishes. And they kind of bring it back this season. Like, okay, this is not working. Let's stick to the basics, on their menu. It's not changing it as much. And they see it works to their benefits. And they're also thinking other ways how they can make this work. And again, a lot of stress, anxiety is within these characters and trying to figure out what the next step is and if they're going to keep it alive. And of course, some negative press didn't help the whole situation either, them being, profitable and making money. The Chicago Tribune, and they introduced some more of the press kind of stuff in this season, which I think is really awesome. One particular episode, without giving too much away. But really, the show is the ensemble behind me. Everybody's incredible. Even like a side, smaller character you care about. You care about their happiness, their goals, what they're going to do in life. And that's just Maddie Matheson, all the Chicago uncles, the crew, like the maintenance guy, the cooks, they're brought, from the original sandwich shop. It just really hit home for me. It's just a lot of people, Uncle Steve that we know, that just reminded me of those kind of characters, always bickering back and forth, but they're doing it with love, and it really makes the show shine.
Yeah, the best part of the show is just how authentic it feels. It just hits different, the show, because both of us grew up, in the Chicagoland area, always associated with being in Chicago, even though, when we didn't live in the city, and then we did. And so we have all these like feelings and everything. And this show just captures it. It just has something magic about it that when you're watching, you're fully invested. Even when the story's slow, and at moments at the start of the show it was kind of slow. It took a little bit to find its groove and find out where the season was headed, where things were headed. But by the end, of course, magnificent, another great season. I love all the guest stars that come on the show. There's like perfectly cast too. It doesn't feel random. It feels like they've been there all along, and it feels like they belong there, and they become part of the cast too over these, few seasons. It's only been 4 seasons. It's not like the show's been on for years and years, but like just what this show's been able to establish with those characters, your Josh Hartnett's, of course, all our favorites there. And then this year you had Rob Reiner come on. That was a really cool role. Lended a lot of, caliber of actor coming along to do this. Brie Larson coming along in here as the sister. That was some great scenes with her at the family dinner there, or at the wedding, I guess was the wedding, where they all gathered under the table and were having that really long conversation that was really cool and really intriguing and really, thoughtful and hit home. It definitely touched all the bases there. There are some standout episodes this season, for sure. Obviously the finale, just the way they shot that, just that whole conversation with Carmi, just like, bearing it all, him and Sydney. And it felt like a kind of like a play, like a two-person play, like how that episode went out with those two.
Absolutely. I like Sydney's episode too, where she, I think it was like her niece or something, but that whole episode was really kind of focused on her, took her out of the restaurant and what she's dealing with, the question she
Right.
has, and trying to figure out what her next step is. Of course, she was talking to this other startup restaurant just as a backup plan because of the bear was not doing well. She wants to, further her career,
Mhm.
continue being a really, really great chef. So there's that whole kind of thing going on this season. Her maybe going to the new place or staying with the bear. Of course, we find out what happens exactly with that. But yeah, there's a lot of layers to the show, like a cake. It's just like very symbolic. There's a lot to these characters. Like I said before, a lot of smaller characters. Tina, had one of the best episodes of the last season. I loved her in this season, really pushing herself to be a better chef and cooking this pasta dish within 3 minutes. Marcus is another great character that his
Yeah.
character arc has gotten so much better as he evolves as kind of this pastry dessert mastermind and learning from some of the best, and also bringing in some really big actors into this season without giving away too much. But I just love the ensemble. A few slow episodes, but it's really building up and really giving more substance to these, characters we're coming across all these seasons. What's happening to them next? Episode, I think it was 7, The Wedding, which is Richie's ex, played by Jillian Jacobs. It was incredible. Probably the best episode of the season. Also, really cool scene with all of them under the table and all the people that show up along the way. But the ending, the final episode, the final 15 minutes were just top notch television. Incredible. I love how that all goes out. I didn't predict that. And it's going to be interesting how that all is going to play out. Maybe in the final season, season 5. Yeah, really impressed with this season. Didn't love it as much as the last season, but I really enjoyed it. Chicago backdrop, but it really captures really hardworking middle class, the anxiety, the stress working in a kitchen, and really the whole vibe of Chicago. It's just a totally different place. Had a great time binging this. Season 4, top notch writing, show running, acting, everything. The music was incredible. It really takes you back into this world, and you don't want to leave. So with that being said, I really had a great time with season 4 of The Bear. Highly recommend it to all of you if you've not seen it out there. Binge it, watch it. You'll have a great time. I'm going to give this season a 4 out of 5. Commie birds out of hair pieces.
Definitely one of the best series on TV by far. Great writing and directing, Christopher Storer. Another excellent season music wise too. All the needle drops and songs accompanying what's going on the screen. One of the best shows that I can think of with that too. Just like discovering new artists. There's been a lot of songs on the show that I've, went to my phone and tried to figure out who it was. That song was good. Finding out new music from it too. So that's another great aspect of the show. And then just watching the evolution of Carmi, seeing him like implode, and then like towards the end of the season, you can see something's building up, and then seeing where everything's going to go in the next season. It's going to be really interesting seeing him dealing with the past trauma, losing his brother. You keep learning more about his like family life and how it was before. And just seeing a hell of an awesome performance from Jeremy Allen White and seeing his career blow up from this. Phenomenal. I mean, I always knew he was going to go on to do great things from Shameless ever since we saw him in that, of course. And then watching it, his career blossom, and going to play Springsteen next. So glad that this show, was season 5 was announced shortly after this aired, because we were all kind of scared, like, yeah, they're going to be busy. I hope the show is going to continue. We haven't really heard anything, but they quickly announced it's coming back. So that's great news. Like you mentioned, I think I too liked the last season 3, just a tad better, but this is still one of the best series on TV. So with that being said, I am going to give The Bear season 4. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 Richie hair pieces.
Yeah, Jeremy
Yeah.
Allen White, incredible. I'm not sure if should win any more comedy. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
comedies is
that's,
definitely not a comedy.
I
It's
said in
drama.
that category.
But damn, it's a damn good drama. One of the best on television. Jeremy Allen White, incredible. The trauma he's dealing with this season. He slowly realizes he's turning into his parents, like all of us think as we get older. Like, oh, I want to break the cycle. So he's questioning his future and happiness and the whole thing with Claire Bear. So I thought that was really always wonderful. I can't wait to see where that all pans out next season. But anyways, I want to hear from all you wild cooking enthusiasts out there. What did you like about the new season of The Bear? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite season? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to use that spatula. Click subscribe. Also, check out these wild grill masters on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews.
That's right. And we're going to be back very soon and all summer long with a lot of great reviews. We have a lot of shows and movies we're catching up on, and going through them one by one, going through the list. So stay tuned to this here YouTube channel. We're going to be dropping a lot of reviews. So we hope everybody's having a great summer. Hopefully everybody's making out to the local cinema, watching the big blockbusters. And then you guys, we hope that you're able to stream these awesome shows that are currently airing and have just finished up, like The Bear. So until the next Cinephellas TV review, I'm Uncle Henry.
And I'm Cousin Richie, signing out to the next TV review. And grab me 2 Miller Lights too.
2 Miller Lights.
Cheers.